Okay, I'm looking over a used transmission here to see what's wrong with it. So I probably should stop and videotape so I got my camera out. Alright, so I looked over the main shaft here. Everything looks really good. I see no marks on the bearing surface. They're nice and clean. No etching marks, no pitting, no heavy wear marks. It looks good. You look through here, make sure this is all good over here. You can seal stuff here, but you don't really feel it, so that's just normal wear. You gotta make sure it's not chewed up in here. Then you gotta look at the gear flankings here and the teeth. Make sure there's no nicks of any type, and make sure they're nice, smooth looking finish like these are. So you look at all these teeth as you rotate the gear around. Make sure they're all good. You can still see the lap marks, grind marks in here in the teeth, which is good. That means they're not worn very heavily yet. So this all looks pretty good here. And then the very important, let's flip around the other way. Look at the other side. And you do the same thing. If you see nothing weird, you stop. See, whenever you see like a little nick or something, you go there. Make sure it's not there. Most of it's just been a piece of trash. There's another piece of trash there. So you stop when you see something. Wipe it off, see if it goes away. It went away. More trash. So these haven't been cleaned yet. I'm just kind of looking at them as they came. Okay, that all looks pretty good. You also want to look at the dogs in here and make sure they're nice and straight and sharp. These ones here have almost no wear on it. This here is the dog that engages that one. It looks really nice. This one over here, this is high gear. You can see how it's worn a little bit here. So we do have a lot of wear going on here. This is about normal. So nothing real heavy, but it's worn, but not super heavy. And you look at your teeth again. So on sports, if you got anything wrong with the gears at all, you get rid of them. Because when these teeth break, they take out the cases. Gears are cheap. Cases cost a lot of money. So this all looks pretty good. So I don't see any wear on this one except for the high gear wear. So I'm looking at the fork to see if there's any thrusting going on. All normal wear, not much of it. Pretty nice looking. You look for an oversize. Normally they're marked right here if they're oversized. These are standard, I guess. The place they mark them is through here. I see no markings anywhere. So this must be a standard set. They make these in different heights from the face here up to where the roller is. It moves the gear up and down a little bit. We'll get into that here in a minute. Okay, this is the other one over here. Looks pretty good. Don't see no wear. Not marked again. So that's another standard. This one goes with that gear. Okay, here's our low gear. Came off of here. So these here, you do the same thing. You look at all your gear faces. This gear is loose in here, see how it keeps sliding down. So this needs to be Loctite so it doesn't do that. I'm looking at all four teeth right now. See if anything sticks out I care about. Nope, it all looks good. Okay, now we go over here and look at the other side. So you're looking for any nicks, anything. Any reason to get rid of it, get rid of it. These all look really nice. Okay, so now we start looking at the dogs. Look pretty good. Don't see any wear marks there on anything. Okay, whole assembly can come out. Got two thrust wash on here for setting our end clearances. Make sure this bearing area here is good. This one here likes to wear a lot because it's very small and heavily loaded. Looks good. Look at the other side here. I don't see anything wrong with it either. Now these watches here adjust your in play. See how these little marks there on the shaft and when they're sitting in there. That's the inside of this bushing area here, which is not, doesn't hit there, it looks like. She looks all fine. See, this is normal wear here. It's not too bad. This one over here is a bit heavier wear, so it's twice as deep. So it looks good. Take another quick look on the teeth just to make sure I didn't miss anything. See, that one looks good. Now these two gears here look the same, see, but they're not. The difference is this has 4 dogs, this has 5 dogs. This one here has a lip on it, this one does not. See that lip? Now one thing about Sportster is you have 4 dogs on some of the gears and you got 5 on some of the other ones. So the main shaft has 5 dogs, counter shaft has 4 dogs. See? Except for this one has 4 dogs also. That's why you got a 4 cut here. So counter shaft, 4 dog counter, 5 dog main shaft. Okay, here's your washer. Should only be 1 in there. There is. Your spacer. See, I don't care if I get pieces sent me in a box because I know where all the parts go. I know when they're missing. So I don't care if they're all assembled or not. That looks pretty good. Between the rollers in here. I stick my fingernail between the rollers. If there's a big gap between them, the bearings are worn out. You also look at how much they lean over. If they lean over quite a bit, they're loose. If they're pretty straight up and down all the time, they're pretty tight. So this feels pretty tight, so they're probably new. Okay. You look at your shifting mechanism, make sure the dogs are fairly sharp through here. It means they're not worn. Those all look good. So I'm not sure why he sent me this tranny. It all looks fairly good. So I just need to Loctite this gear so it doesn't keep flowing in and out. Okay, so I got to knock out this oiler here. This here catches oil right here. Sends it down the shaft right through here. Just got a snorkel piece in the end down there. This sits inside the snorkel. That shoots air down the shaft, oil comes down the shaft, and it comes out the low gear right here, and it lubricates this bushing. That's what that's for. Now if you have actual oil in your transmission, you don't need any of this stuff. So I usually leave them out. Later model Harleys quit using them altogether, so you don't really need them. With modern oils and everything, it's not a major issue. Alright, so I need my special tool. It'll be called a Japanese socket. That's what any metric tools are good for. Beating on. So this goes inside of here like that, and you knock it out with a hammer. That's the best thing you can do with a metric socket. Make sure you use a steel hammer so you get the road speed on it. Just keeping harder and harder until it finally comes out. It's just pressed in is all it is. You want to make sure there's no crap down inside here. A lot of times that gets all filled up full of material in there, which is bad. This is one of the key places you clean. Oh, high gear fell out. That should not be falling out. So you look at your dogs here, how much they're rounded over. See how the high gear dog is not rounded too bad. The third gear over here is worn quite a bit right here. So it's pretty heavy wear on this gear. This gear here still looks pretty good, so prime candidate for putting another gear in there, or if you weren't having a problem before, you'd be fine for now. But eventually it'll start popping out of high gear. Okay, so we get that out of there. Okay, I need to get my special screwdriver. So to check the inflow, you stick this inside this gear. Then you put a little pressure sideways like that, and you can pull it in and out. Check your in-play. That's how you check the in-play of this gear, this shaft, because there's no access to the other side. It has a closed-in bushing, so that's how you check these things on when it's in the bike. Obviously, it's not in the bike, so you can't check it. You also want to make sure that the bushed spacer is in here, the thrust washer spacer. Sometimes they fall out. You want to look at the needle bearing, make sure they're good. You gotta look down inside the bushing. You can't really see it, but you put your finger in there. It should be nice and smooth. No low spots, no grooviness, no waves, nothing sharp. If you do, then that bushing's worn out. Okay, so everything about this tranny looks pretty good except for that one gear is a little worn out. Right. So that's supposed to be a press fit. Alright. This is my shifting mechanism right here, lever. This fits right in here. You can work the ratchet real easy, see? Put it back in neutral, it all works pretty good. So this is a 77 later tranny. You can tell real easy because it's left side shift. You got a shifter out here. Plus when you look at this here, this is recessed. So the shaft goes right next to this here. I got clearance. The earlier shaft that actually sticks up about this far, the shaft would hit on it. So it's one way of telling what this came out of. Okay, so I'm going to put it all back together. I can check my alignment on my shafts and stuff, or my gears. Okay, so you got to put the counter shaft together first. Remember, you're looking for the four of those. You got your thrust washer. You got your 4 doggy gear here. Spacer. And your other gear. This gear can go either way, but this has a lip on it here so it doesn't drag on this cover over here. See, it's machined flat right here. If you put it like this, the whole face would be dragging on that. With a little spacer built in, it goes like that. It only hits right here on the thrust surface only, so the gear doesn't eat up everything. It will work either way, but one way is better than the other. Sometimes these are press fit parts. This particular case, this is not a press fit. So after you do all this, then you slip it in like this. Take the shift fork, stick it in there like that, rotate it around. It goes up just a little bit here, like this, and that way it's in neutral, put together. Okay, this one over here goes underneath like this, slip down, like that. And this is your shaft, it goes through here. Just push it down, it goes into a hole, which is right here. And this lock tab keeps the shaft from going off the other side. So if you don't have a lock tab in there, it can come out. You notice how the high gear keeps coming up on us, which is not good. Okay, there's your low gear. Okay, you always have a little bit of clearance on everything, so see that clearance there? That's your backlash and everything. So you want to make sure the gap over here is about the same as over here. Now the tighter you can make these gaps, the better the shifting will be. So right now this is like a stock bike, it's way far. It's probably a little bit wide on this side here, but it's pretty far. What I do for racing is I put a longer shift fork in here so this gear goes close to that gear. Then I take out one of these spacers over here and just use one of them. And then they get real close together. So when you go to shift, it's right there. You don't have to, there's not a big gap between. Also what happens is when you do that, instead of the gear only going like 3/4 of the way in, it goes all the way in. So the dog will live longer also. So that's one of the tricks I do. On this one over here, you can do the same thing by playing around with different things. One thing you can do, you can put a washer between the gear and the bearing, and that will move it up closer. and then you can run the fork in the same spot. The other way is you move the fork closer to that gear, and you can do it that direction. Another trick you can do, you can take this and cut this back a little bit and put a radius up in here so it's a little bit stronger and moves the gear. Allows the main shaft to drop in further, tightens up your gear pack. This gear is not adjustable. So this gear has to be closer, everything has to get closer to this gear. So there's a lot of different ways of doing things. This being a stock build, or at least right now it is. Let's see what we got right now. Okay, so to put this together, take this gear, just lay it on top of the fork, like that. Take your main shaft assembly, just slip it on in there. Rotate it until the splines line up, and it'll just drop in. Boom, simple. Okay, now you can check your in place. As long as we don't drop this one down. Okay, this one's pretty even and relatively close. See how close the dogs are right here? All the way down. You can see the dog over here when you lift it up. It's about the same, see? See, it's pretty close. So this one's pretty good. This one over here is pretty far apart. This one's way wide. Big gaps in here. So this one here is about equal on the gaps, so I think we're okay on this one. This one here, I think we should probably put a plus fork in there, go down. We'll take some spacer out of this side. Whatever you take out of this side, you got to add onto this side to keep your clearance where you need to be. I don't know what he had for washers here on his case, because that's dictated by the case, what your in play is on that. Like I said, the way you check the in play with that is you put your shaft on the other side, you put this inside of it, and you pull back and forth on this shaft, and you can see what the in play is. So that's how you do that. Alright, so I got a basic idea of what's going on with this tranny. Call a customer to see what he wants done. This here, just when you put this back in, line it up straight up and down, and just beat it in with a hammer. Make sure you get it going straight, it just presses in. So we're going to leave that out for him so he can check his in plays down the road. So this transmission goes with this hot rod set of cylinders we just did over here. Stroker motor, so it's going to be a hot rod tranny. So we're going to have to see what he wants done. So we'll see. So there's what our top ends look like after we bake the paint on. See how nice and bright and glossy it gets it. This one didn't want to get baked on very good, so I had to bake it twice. Both these sets I had to do. So, got some fingerprint marks in there because it was a little tacky after the first time I did it. Now they're permanently engaged in there. Oh well. Alright, so that's where we're at on this. So we can see what the customer wants to do on this, and we might be back.